Hopefully nothing cocks up this time. Right, I feel a bit better talking now. One sec. That's better. So hello. I'm trying again with this. I know the quality of the stream is absolute dirt, trust me. I'm not getting any better on mine. But I just really want to stream because I'm demonstrating how these raids work for people who don't understand. And if I do it, then they'll be able to just look at me playing. I know I'm really... the quality of the video is bad, but it doesn't matter. It'll work. It'll do. So like I'm pretty much doing is I'm just killing all the mons. So I'm at Skiddio outbreak. Bear in mind I've got the shiny charm. And I'm using... and I'm just killing all the Skiddio. Right, it says the number of Skiddio outbreak is starting to go down. You want another 2 notifications like that to come up. Once it says there are barely any left or something like that, you want to save and then stop killing, and you just want to like either picnic or run as far away and just come back and keep resetting until you see the shiny. That's pretty much all it is. You can't get any more simpler of an explanation than that, and I can't explain it any simpler than that. It's literally as blunt as that. I'm just moving closer. Whoops, everything just fell. Oh well. Right, now I can see the screen a little better, because the camera's right in the centre of the screen. Because I tried to have it far away and the thing was just blurry as hell. It couldn't focus on it because there was just too much stuff around. I thought there was background noise, but it's the dragon. Yeah, as you can see, we gave up Roaring Moon with the Herba Mystica so we could keep the shiny Hydreigon because, funny enough, my partner came in and he did a coin flip and he got tails, so I kept it. And I know that's probably not the best trade, but if I get a shiny Gibble, Hydreigon, Dog, any other than all of them available down there, I've got every single one now, all the dragons. So if I get another dragon, I'm going to leave it regardless. This was the only one that I didn't have and I wanted, so it doesn't matter now. But I am happy I kept it because it's so pretty. I mean, look at it. I love the purple and green me. I don't know what I'm gonna name it yet. It's a boy and he's purple and green. I think I'm gonna name him after my original Hydreigon I had. Which, you'll know why it's called this. I have been wanting a shiny one of these for no joke for so long, and I was so happy to see an outbreak. We've got 2 outbreaks that appeared today that I really want to do. So I'm being very careful and very observant of the notifications in the corner, because I keep accidentally foiling the hunts because I killed too many, and then it says this outbreak has vanished. Right, it's definitely starting to get lower, so there's one more notification you're waiting for, but just in case I mess it up, I'm saving. I know I spelled the bunny's name wrong, don't even get me started. He was supposed to be called Roger, I put Roger, don't even get me started. I've got 2 that I trained up because I helped someone with their Pokédex and they traded me a scope on it because I didn't originally think I was going to be able to do. I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but as the raids become obscenely difficult for people unnaturally, because I was able to walk through the hunts and generally get by with some difficulty if I didn't have a Pokemon of a particular type. But I tried doing 5 or 6 star raids now and they're practically impossible. Like, I still don't know how I managed to get the Herba Mystica for the first hunt for the Roaring Moon. I think it was because I have a level 100 of a particular mon, and I was just incredibly lucky. But trying to do the 6 or 7 and you're not guaranteed it is bleeding impossible. For some reason. Now, if you don't have a level 100 mon, that's it. Of a particular, of every type, that's it. You're not doing it. And that's practically what I've been doing now. At the moment, I'm just playing with the eye dragon because that's cool. I ran into it by mistake. But I was gonna try and hunt Roaring Moon with just without her Mystica. Use the same sandwich, so we're getting Kite Dragon, Title Dragon, and but no sparkling, so it's just encounter and you get an egg power up, I think. Is the third one. But you still get encounter dragon, which right, there's not many skill left for the original outbreak. This is when you save and you stop killing. So that was the third notification. So now you can have the eye dragon out as long as he doesn't kill anyone. You just check, and when there's none of the shiny, you either run far away. It's whatever's quickest, because obviously in certain hunts it's quicker to picnic than it is to run out of render distance. So I'm quicker just to run away. So we're going to look for one, and the shiny has bright yellow horns, so it should be real easy to spot. But if there's one shiny that I've wanted from like classic Pokemon that I've wished to come back, this is one. It's this one in Dealing I've been excited to come back. When I saw that they had come back, I was so happy. I more just do these videos live. I don't really care if anybody watches them, to be honest. I more do these videos live because it just saves memory. So don't feel forced if you see me live to come. It's not a requirement. I don't mind. To be honest, it's easier if no one comes because then I can just waffle on about anything in particular and I don't really have to keep checking chat. I just like playing the game and just having the footage recorded just so to help. I'm doing this more to help a friend if he still doesn't really understand. So I could just link him to this video of me getting a shiny because I'm hoping to get the Skideo just to demonstrate, just in case he's not 100% sure. Because I have tried to message it, but if he still doesn't understand with me texting it, then hopefully this way is a lot clearer than actually me showing it off. Even though the quality of the video isn't 100%, you can still see and get the point across. You can still see it'll be shiny. You can still see what I'm doing. You could read the notifications and everything. So it's fine. Right, so as I'm going to demonstrate, so look, there's no shiny. And they're still rendering in. But as you can see, there's no shiny here. Looking far away. So what I'm going to do is picnic. Wait for it to load. As you can see, it's rendered them all out. Or despawned them, whatever you want. And then, look. Respawning. So now, all I have to do is wander around, see if the shiny spawned anywhere that I didn't see. There's a far I can't see it yet. If it did. So I'd recommend not standing in one spot and keep respawning because they spawn faster when you wander around because obviously the radius of the spawn gets bigger as you wander. So just wander in little circles just to try and get them. God, friggin' damn it. As much as this is annoying, do not kill any after it's said. There's not many left because there's literally, if you kill more like 3, if you kill 3 more, including the one you catch, it'll probably say the outbreaks, there's no longer any left, so they won't respawn new ones. And once you try to picnic and make more spawn, it'll just despawn a lot, and they won't come back. Right, so there's no shiny here. Because we're wandering around. This could take a while, just because I've got the shiny charm. You don't need any Turbo Mystica sandwiches or any sandwiches. I'll demonstrate. I've got no boosts or anything. All I've got is shiny charm, which makes it slightly faster. But as you can see, I've got no sandwiches active. And it may take a handful of resets. The longest ones took me 3 hours, just standing here and resetting. But I ended up with it, so... Just gotta be patient and keep looking, because you will eventually end up with it. It's just a matter of time. You've got everything you need. Once you've killed the recommended amount, then you basically just need to keep wandering around. Just make sure you're observing and make sure you double check before you despawn, because the last thing you want to do is despawn the shiny. Then again, even after you've got the shiny, if say you wanted to make a living dex and you wanted the shiny and the level evolution of it, so you've got 2, you could continue. As long as you don't kill anymore, you can just despawn them and keep respawning them, and you can continue even after. Nothing says you have to stop when you get the first initial one. So yeah, just forget. You can't have a picnic on back of your Pokemon, so you have to get off. Just having another check, because I don't... It's dark over here, so I can't 100% chill. So you can go quite far away, so I could probably run across this whole mountain area here and still be able to get spawns. But I don't want to move too far because I can't be bothered. But you probably can go as far away as this from the little silhouette and they'll still spawn. But again, you don't want to go too far and then you render them out when you check. You want to be able to look thoroughly through them all before you change to spawn and get rid of them. Because if I run far down there, they'll stop spawning. If I jump up here, they seem to spawn on the cliff. Luckily, this isn't as bad as Legends, where if you had a horde outbreak, they'd attack you. These just seem curious and just come to see what you're doing. Some of them will run into you and just stand inside you, and even when you're in a match, which is aggravating. I remember hunting one and they just used to keep standing inside me. So I'd get touched by one like this and then another one would be stood waiting. So as soon as I jumped out of the battle, I'd have to fight another one. And it'd be ages before I managed to get away from him. It sucked. Right, I don't see the shiny still. So we're gonna... Let's check on foot. I like being thorough. If you got a good keen eye, which I don't because I'm partially blind at the minute, then you could probably just run around once and make it a hell of a lot quicker. But these outbreaks last until like the end of the day. So as long as you get it before 12 AM, the outbreak will last. Of course, if you keep setting your clock back so then it doesn't hit 12 AM, then it won't refresh the outbreaks and you can probably hunt it for a couple of days. But so much trouble. As long as it doesn't tick to the next day, the outbreak won't change, I don't think. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, as it looks like we've still not got it. But like I said, it will eventually appear, and you can even do this without the shiny charm. You don't need sandwiches for this either, so it's like you do it, but it'll be the more buffs you've got, the quicker it'll be. I just want this item because it's bugging me. So as I ran a bit further, then some of them might have despawned. Nope. Still no. No yellow horns. Yeah, you can see all of them, and then none of them are yellow. Some areas you physically can't put picnic down. I remember hunting for, I think it was Delibird, and I had so much trouble putting a picnic down because it was all slopey where it was. It was so annoying. So these are just gonna slowly spawn in. Like I said, if you move, it goes. If you move around, it's slightly quicker. But I don't know if that's because you're moving around and it feels quicker, or if it's just the fact of moving around. But I think moving around does make them spawn faster because it's rendering you in where you step. I'd also beware if it's a Pokemon that can go up a tree, because sometimes they even can spawn in the tree. I keep running into them, man. They're not even that hard to miss, but I just keep running into them. It's annoying me. Like I said, just don't kill any of them after the last notification's popped up. Or it's not the last, it's the third one. If the fourth one comes up saying there's none left of the original outbreak, then you've messed up and you've killed it. So I just either because there is a way to, once we've done the 2 hunts that I want to do today, I'll show you how to reset for different outbreaks in a day. Because there's no backlash to it. The only backlash I have to it is that when I'm taking photos of the shiny, it's the wrong dates matching. So as you can see, still no shiny, but no issue. It's just that this is one of my favourite ways to hunt, and I'm just sad that they're not all like this. Admittedly, if they were all the same, then it'd suck. It just upsets me how difficult the paradoxes are to hunt without having the sandwiches. But I guess we'll just wait and see how long it takes, because I'm curious. I hunted all the violet paradoxes with sandwiches, because I've got them all. Oh, it's raining. Scared me. It's very loud. So it still won't deter the shiny. The only one that's hard to hunt for Pokemon like this in outbreaks is Mischievous and Ghastly, because they have hunts and they'll be on the map and everything, but they'll only spawn in the overworld at night, which I think's the bloody dumb idea. Because I'm not looking forward for Fluttermane for that reason, because it only spawns during the night. God's sake. My depth perception isn't that good because I'm far away from the TV as well. Buddies! So like I said, it does take a while sometimes. Sometimes you find them pretty instantly, sometimes they can take hours. But I've got 2 hunts I want to do, and it's Skidio and Capikid, or Catspikid. The Skeevils, you know what? Instead of hurting myself and coming up with names, I'll show you. It won't mess with the spawns, as you can see. That one. That's the next one. Which is kind of annoying as well because it's in the desert, so you get sandstorms where these guys are quite tiny and the difference is really subtle because I'm sure he's just yellow. But yeah, no matter how many of these little guys spawn, if you just picnic, they'll all despawn instantly. It's quicker than running up and down the mountain just to get them all to go away. Like I said, I do think running around makes them spawn faster. Or it feels like they do. Because standing there is just boring. Also keep an eye out, because even though you're hunting for a Skidio, other Pokemon can be shiny as well. So that Mudbray, for example, could have been shiny. So always keep an eye out, especially when you have the charm. Shinies just essentially pop up. And again, to remind anyone who's playing this game and doesn't know, shinies do not give a sound. If you don't spot it and you walk past it and despawn it, that's it, you've lost it and you failed it. Which I'm so happy they don't notify you if you failed it, because that'd be more upsetting if they told you that you failed it rather than just failing it. I'd rather just fail it and not know. But yeah. But I don't know if it's because it's like Stockholm Syndrome sort of thing, but I actually like the fact that they don't have the noise anymore on this. Because you did feel like they were just handing out shinies on Arceus. And it devalued the shiny. So every shiny in Arceus, for example, has been devalued. Because I've got a living depths of Garchomp's line. That's why I'm like, I don't really want them now. But it has devalued some of the shinies now because of that. Like, I got a Staraptor and I was helping someone with the dex and they gave me like 3 Scorbunnies. One was female, which I was really happy with, and 2 were male. But one of them had a mark, so it was really cool. And I ended up leaving them with the Staraptor. I gave them the shiny Staraptor I got in this game because I have got literally 4 Staraptors, 3 Starabias, and 2 Starlies on my home account because of Arceus. I do not want any more Starlies. Also, when I was hunting Charmander, I got the uncatchable Starly at the beginning as well. I count that as a shiny even though I couldn't catch it. I got a picture of it and I was like, no! I was so happy to get that though in a way because I was like, I'm one of the people who had to suffer with it. Thankfully I only got it once before I got the Chimchar, which was great. I named him after one of my favourite red monkeys from a show I liked when I was little. Well, I say little, I wasn't that little. Still young, I count. I count 10 as young. Meh. Right, just keeping an eye out. It stopped raining, thankfully, so I got the nice clear weather. So again, just keeping an eye out for them bright yellow horns. And like I said, it can take a while. Some of them are instant, some of the times you get lucky. I've never got multiple shinies in an outbreak yet. Like, I've never had 2 spawn. But then again, usually after 1 spawns, I just leave. Because I can't be bothered lingering around because I've got it. Someone killed me with a name for this thing. And I can hear the song in my head now. They called it something like Wake Me Up before, and then it was like For You, and then it was because this thing's called Go-Go, and I was just laughing at the name. I loved it. It was great. I don't know if I'm going to name the shiny that, because it made me cry laughing when I heard it. I think it's quite funny. I feel like I'm corralling her most of the time. That one seems different in the light, but it's because it's shaded. One thing I can say, and everyone will agree with me, hate the lighting on this game. They all look blimmin' shiny. Because some of them are darker than others. It's hard to pick like one out of a crowd, because even then when you get the shiny, it looks like everyone else because it's dark. I'm on the back of... Like I said, it's not something that'll happen instantly. Sometimes it takes a very long time, but I don't think we've done it wrong. It's the last notification we got was, and they're still spawning, so it's just a matter of time. Just keep running around looking for the little yellow goat. Ah, I tried to jump and move, and that was a stupid idea. I don't know, I like the green May. A lot of people have seen I don't like the shiny head dragon. But I know, I get the joke why, because it's inverted. That was a mud ray. But yeah, you want to double check. Also, if you're using the thingy that, let's go they call it. If you're using that and it's shiny, it will not kill it, just to specify. I've even tried it myself to see, because I was messing about with the yellow dog. I got the groover just yesterday, and I tried to kill it, but it didn't kill it. The only way you can possibly kill it is to put it in an actual fight and then knock it out. Which would hurt my soul, honestly. But I put Roaring Moon just in case, but I'm only streaming for a little while because this isn't optimal. The stream quality is dirt. I'm literally having to sit right next to underneath the camera because I can't think. I'm using my actual phone to record it with a tri-stand. I'm having to play the game upside down essentially. It's not optimal, but it will do as an example to people who don't understand fully. I wish I could do a shorter version, but unless I clipped this one up, which I might do, because it'll just take me to download it to the example and then clip it closer to where we get the shiny. I can make a short of an example one, that'd be good. Still the same video quality, but it's clipped. But then the unclipped version remains as well. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll make a clipped one for examples to show friends and that. Right, still no yellow goat. Let's see if we can get any more spawn. No. Going over here a little bit. More spawning. Up here. And up here. I do like the Scarlet Legendary the best, but I don't seem to have put much love into it, which for some reason is bizarre. With anything, I thought I'd be putting more hours into Scarlet, but no, I put more hours in Violet. But it's only because that was the one I had on my online Switch, and I was hoping to get online for both of them, but I ended up only getting it for one. And I haven't managed to upgrade it to the one where you get it for both yet, so it's like... But it gives me something to do, so I'm just doing it extremely slowly, because obviously if you do everything in the first week with these games, then what's the point? You're gonna get bored of it. Where if I wait and have it online later on, not only will I be able to have home so I can use some of my other Pokemon, but I can... The spawning it makes me laugh though, they just poof. Literally hear the pop noise every time one pops in. another way of getting out of render distance, just jumping off the cliff and flying back. I do like Go-Go in X and Y. I was so excited. It was one of my favourites when X and Y came out. But I did end up using him, sadly, during the playthrough. Because there was other Pokemon that took priority of the space, and he's not... I don't know if he's that good of a Pokemon to actually use. But I didn't use him at the time. I can't remember my team, honestly. It was that long ago now. I remember getting it because it was at my granddad's birthday it came out. And I remember going to the party and playing it. I also got called the wrong name and everyone took the mick out of me, so that was great too, same day. And then I told them to thingy off and everyone was astonished the fact that I swore. It was quite funny. But I'm not just gonna sit there when I ask politely for people to stop winding me up and then they continue. What am I gonna say? I'm not gonna say, oh, continue. To be honest, if someone did say that when they were winding me up, I'd probably stop for my own sake. Clearly there's something wrong with them. Just love all men are there and they're all hopping about. I love me a goat. I have to say, yeah, I do really like goats though, they're quite funny. I had to look after some goats at one point. That was fun. There was a girl in my class as well, where I looked after the goats, and her name was Bobby, and so was the goat. Everyone took the mick. And because I had green hair, there was a parrot who would shout slurs at people because so many people had walked past it and swore at it. So the parrot would repeat the swears. They named it after me. I was so proud. I don't even swear that much. But they said, well, it's got green hair, you've got green hair, it's your twin. And then everyone in the class went on a tandem of finding an animal that was the same name as them and naming it their twin. I was fortunate enough to have a parrot. The poor person who had a tarantula and was terrified of it, that was fun too. So if you call Terry, then you've got a twin tarantula. Tarantula with the same name. I ran into it. Bugger. You cut your skitty off, can't you? Because it was asleep and I didn't plan to run into it either. I wondered why the fight initiation was slightly different. And its cry was different. Huh. So as you can see, we still haven't got it, but that doesn't mean you should get deterred. Just keep running around and doing what we've been doing, and eventually it will pop up. It just takes a while. You can have sandwiches that will increase like sparkling, but it's not worth wasting it. If you've got them pouring out of your ears and you've done all like your paradox hunts and that, then by all means. But it's so unnecessary and such a waste. I am unfortunate this one's taking rather a long time. But I don't know if it feels like that just because I'm lying in an uncomfortable position. Shouting to be heard on the recording, and that's even if I'm being heard, which I assume I am. Because I have no way of watching this back, because I messed with my stuff last night and haven't fixed it. which I could. Well, I'm waiting for the. Actually, well, the next batch of respawn, I'm not gonna move. I'm gonna go and fix something so that I can at least see what the recording looks like a little better. Ow. Yeah, if you need cracks, that's me. But once the goats like get curious, they'll just come over. So if I can't really see it, it won't despawn as long as I don't move out of range. So I'm not gonna be long. I hope to hunt hegs like that. I don't want happening. If you kill any of them, then you'll get in trouble. The only thing I don't suggest is letting a Pokemon just go around killing everyone. That's a really bad idea. Alright, I do first time goat. Just checking, the little group I've accumulated around me is not shiny, none of them. Little guy sleeping here is a little guy on lunches them. I think this is a rare outbreak, so I'm trying to be extremely careful because I've wanted one of these for the longest time. So I don't want to muck it up. Because when I first shot it shiny in the past, I always wanted one, but I didn't really know how to shiny hunt when XMY first came out. Nor did I really complete the Pokédex, which I kind of regret now, because I probably could have got more worth out of the game, so I just can't be bothered doing it now. Like going back and doing the old games. Which would probably be fun if I did, but with remakes, I'd rather just play the remakes, because loading up a DS and sitting with it on that tiny screen, I'd rather wait. I know I did it at one point, but I've been spoiled by the Switch now. I like sitting with my TVs. I bought an extra one for this console, so... Why didn't it send me live? Why is it send me like right to the beginning of the video? You suck, game. Right, so I actually can see, but I can't hear. Right, I can hear myself really quiet, but that'll do. Oh, the shiny sound was mine, don't get discouraged, right, but I'm happy it threw a Pokeball instead of attacking it because I dropped the controller. Spyro looks so nice, even on this lower quality screen. He looks so vivid, it's lovely. On the camera, he looks so shiny. He looks so green, I love that green. He looks really saturated and dull in my on my screen. Right, give me a second. I'm just getting comfortable again. No, I can't find my controller. Just having a day of it, me. Right, so I assume anything I've said really quiet has not been heard, so it's fine. But I'm gonna try and just make sure I speak nice and loud and clear. I'm gonna stream until I get at least one of the shinies, but to be honest, I'm going to hunt these two because I love Scorcherville. Because he's a two-headed chili and he's so cool, and I like the villainous sort of Pokemon, and he's definitely a villain Pokemon. So I'm definitely after one of them. So again, you just keep doing this until the shiny will eventually appear. It just can take from as long as it needs. Sometimes they're instant, sometimes they take hours, sometimes you may even run out of time. But most of the time, with the chat especially, you will get it. You just gotta not get deterred by the fact it's taken a long time. If it's worth enough that you'd hunt in like old games for it for months, then why not here? It's just the only problem is you've got 12 hours? 24 hours? Whatever, from when you start till 12 a.m. From as soon as 12 a.m. hits, the outbreaks will obviously reset, so obviously it's from when you get up. So now it's 12 o'clock, so yeah, 12 hours, something. You know what I mean? So as long as you stay dedicated to it, but now it's dark, they all look fucking same. So if there's any slightly different, I don't notice. But you feel like they all look the same, it's because they are. You will notice the shiny when you do, because I was so scared about hunting, like, for the shiny. I think it was the one that scared me the most was Iron Treads. Because the difference on Iron Treads, and this is the Dom fan Paradox one, is his ears are silver and the trunk is silver rather than the dark matted grey. And it's so subtle in the dark that you barely notice it. But it's not silver, I just heard myself, it's chrome. It's dark silver or a matte black, and then it's chrome, all the violet shinies are chrome. That's one way of easily pointing it out. So if you see a silver one in the batch, then yeah, that's the shiny. Which I did like the violet. I have to say, I prefer Scarlet's Paradox, because I love these, like, primally looking, like, I imagine Hydreigon is, like, a primal. I'd love to see a primal version of it. But we only got the violet one, which, it's a protogen, if anyone knows what that is. I mean, it's a protogen. It's a dragon with a digital face. How could I not love it? And especially the weird as hell Pokédex entry. I can't remember which console it's on. Which one it's on, Scarlet or Violet. But it's got such a weird dex entry. It's like... it's the love child of a robot and a human. And that's what it said. I'm gonna actually, for curiosity's sake and the fact that it doesn't mess with the hunts, I'm gonna see if it's here. Yeah, just to demonstrate I have actually got the Pokédex. Shiny Charm, I mean. There's the certificate. So we're looking for Iron Jugulus. Details. Yeah, look, it's this one. It resembles a certain Pokemon introduced in a paranormal magazine. Disguised as the offspring of a Hydreigon that fell in love with a robot. Right, so it's not as weird as I said. But yeah, it's a Hydreigon that fell in love with a robot. What? Then we got Iron Hands. My personal favourite Iron Bundle. He was the first one. I got a shiny as well. Out of all the paradoxes, he was the first. And the second was Iron Valiant, which is my second favourite. How could you not like this one? The internet's ruined it for me, but whatever. Look, I'll change it to the shiny. There you go. The entry for that one is a bit weird on the other one. But then again, this one, I think it's this version is the weird. Yeah. Yeah, the grudge of a person perished for writing the king's evil deeds upon wooden tablets has clad itself in dead leaves to become a Pokemon. So that's a human. Is that what you're saying? What? I just find the Pokédex entries so interesting on some of them. And obviously due to them being two games, some of them are different. But I definitely think Scarlet's entries are a bit weirder than Violet's entries because they're different. If you didn't know, because at the moment I'm playing Scarlet. Because I've played through both Violet and Scarlet. I've got the double pack. I got the Switch as well, so I'm playing the Pokemon Switch. And I got the Shiny Charm on both accounts. That didn't take... It took 2 weeks to complete both Pokédexes. Actually, it took 2 weeks to complete both games to get the charms on both, because I had to play through both games, which took about 5 days each. And then it took a couple of days to get the charm and to trade over Pokemon that needed on both versions. Which took a while, but it was fun. I liked doing it. It was gratifying doing it, and then they both as completed, because that means I fully completed Pokemon both, and I can't say I didn't play through both of them and got my money's worth out of them, because normally when I played it, like I played Shield and Sword for like 300 hours, I wouldn't complete the Pokédex. I'd just play through the game and just complete the story and then wouldn't touch it. But recently I started to play through the game, because I even speed run the story once. I completed it within I think it was a day. It took me a full 24 hours to complete it, which were really good. I didn't cheat or anything. They were good though, I enjoyed it. It was a nice little challenge and good for a boring afternoon. Because this would take you probably 2 days to complete the story if you didn't cheat. As in, send Pokemon over that you've got on other accounts. Like, if you wanted to do a shiny run with shinies that you've got like a week. So like, if I got this one, they're like level, what, 18? So they'd be good for pretty much if you wanted to start a game with a shiny one in your party but didn't want to hunt for it. But this game didn't really have a Hall of Fame as good as like past games, because when like for Shield and Sword, when you open the game up, you were constantly greeted with with your winning team that you completed the game with. Which I was sad this game doesn't have it. It just has a book sat on a desk, and I thought that was such a waste of time. Of all the things they could have had, they have the picnic animation where they have all your Pokemon stood around, and they didn't think to do that for the menu. I'm sorry, I just thought it was wasted. I don't know why I'm getting so many other Pokemon spawning now. But when he's killed an area, he'll just come back. If you run too far, they'll come back. So don't worry about if running too far away is a concern. I ran into it. I haven't eaten yet. But I don't feel really hungry. And after I chipped my tooth, I don't really enjoy eating that much anymore. It's depressing. But I'm not going on a tangent of me being depressed. That'd just be miserable. Can't say that I'm happy though, but I do sort of... This got me up to do something today. Otherwise, I'd probably just be either asleep in bed doing nothing, or the worst thing that I do, which I do enjoy doing, and it's not a bad thing, but I love reading books. So I'll read books, but I'll spend all day reading them. And that doesn't sound like a bad thing, but when you spend 3 days straight reading a book, I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing. So like I said, actually double check if you're running far away about other shinies, because any of these will be shiny. Obviously, don't forget the priority what you've hunted now. And I've been skitty, so I want skitties. Or rock club. One of the Pokemon I wanted to hunt when I have all the Paradox Mons was the Dunsparce. Whether I get a 2 or a 3 segment, I don't really care, but I wouldn't bother. It would be either whatever I get segment 1, and then I'd try and get like a 3 segment non-shiny or 2 segment non-shiny, depending on which one I got as a shiny. So if I got 2 or 3, it'd be just luck of the draw. I'm sure the green on its back is slightly brighter as well from the shiny. It's just all it's sat, because most of these, I'm sure they just turn up the saturate filter on them. I just decided to go down this cliff. I saw this item a few times and it was bugging me. Hey buddy. Thank you, making me fall back down the cliff. I was nowhere near it! It so annoys me. I was running in... Oh, frig's sake. I was running in the desert and you'd run by and a worm would be popping out of the ground as you run by it, and it counted as you've encountered it. I'd be like, no, I didn't encounter it. If you're running by and run into it directly, then yeah, but if you're running past it and it counts it as a hit, I used to say that's annoying. But then again, these friggers spawn in the bloody ground, so what the hell am I supposed to do? Because apparently most of the reasons why Roaring Moon is so hard to hunt is because most of the time they spawn in the wall or in the floor. The thing... It's such an easy fix to fix what's actually happening, because it's the hitboxes on the Pokemon and the collision coded. Because when the Pokemon hits the floor, they've got like a collision thing. All they've got to change it is so that the clip box or whatever the collision thing on the floors are like higher, so it's less likely for them to clip. It's not difficult to fix, but it's just something they will probably never fix, and it's so annoying. Spawning in the walls is pathetic, because that bloody... I remember when I was watching on stream, someone was hunting Glamora, and they had to virtually be... It was unhuntable, because most of the time, if it didn't spawn in the walls, it was virtually... You couldn't see it, because most of them spawned in the floor or in the walls. So it's just pointless trying to hunt it, because most likely the shiny would be under the floor. You won't be able to get to it, nor could you knock out enough to get it, because they're in the walls and in the floor. Because knowing me, that's probably what's happening now. But the best way I check if something's like in the mountain is if you hold the ZL button, you can sort of clip into the mountain sometimes to have a look if anything's in the wall. Only particular like walls that things will actually clip in. That one's pretty to the floor, so it might not clip stuff. But yeah, sometimes you can... That's how you check if something's in the wall. You can try and turn it round to clip under so you can see. Doesn't always work though, it's quite tricky to do. But yeah, it's how I used to check for stuff in the walls. I was hunting for another mon recently. And that was in the walls a lot. So I gave up with it because it just got on my nerves. You know, little sushi boys, sushi fish. Yeah, I wanted one of them shiny. And I ended up just running into one by mistake. I was talking to my friend about how to hunt, and virtually 5 seconds later, after just grinding for XP, I ran into it by mistake, and I was so happy because I really wanted the white one, and I got the white one. I was so happy. That wasn't the only one I got that night either. It was a really good night though. It was a girl as well, so I named it after the white dog I have on my channel, which is Hitch. I haven't really used her at all though, because I've been too busy hunting for the paradoxes. And with her just being level 50, she's not exactly strong. And the fact she's dragging doesn't really do much good either. I am getting so much backache lying like this. I want it to be day. I hate hunting during the night. I can never see shit. Because if you think looking on the camera's bad, it's not better for me either. It's just as bad. They all blend into four. I love the shinies because they stand out. One of my favourites to hunt like is Dratini because it's bright pink on the blue lake. It stands out like a sore thumb. So it's such a good one to hunt. Most of my shinies that I've hunted for, if I haven't got them wild by mistake, they've been shinies that are easily like able to point out. Like this one's quite easy to spot, but like the little cactus kid, Casper kid, I think he's called Casper kid. It's like Caper Kid, but it's Casper. Casper. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. That one. Yeah, he's going to be quite hard because he's already yellow-ish looking, but he's only like lima green instead of like the pale green he already is. So there's barely any difference on him. Because he's like pastel and then it goes like saturate up by 1. I didn't clarify as well, when it's an outbreak, the Pokemon's got a red little glow around the back of it, so it's not getting confused with the Mons that are on the map in this area, because that's down there as well. One second. It doesn't matter that much because we were just waiting for them to spawn in anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But we've been streaming for over an hour and I've still not got it, so it's like, that's why I said I'll get one if not. If I can't get both within 2 hours, then I'll call it. But you just gotta keep going till you get it. That's the thing, it's just determination. Some of them you get before the initial outbreak, before you stop killing. Sometimes I've just turned up to one and they've been sat there. It's all luck. I made sure to name all the Paradox mons except Maridon. all after Portal characters, which I thought was quite funny. The only ones I didn't manage to name yet, because I've only just got them, is Iron Treads and Iron Moth, I believe. I haven't named yet. Why am I doing that? I just opened it. And now I'm tightening it. God, is this song nostalgic for anyone else? I played Red and Blue. Didn't get very far in it though. It was really difficult. I think one of my favourite things I ever did is, yes, I'm one of the naughty people who had this. It's when shops was a bit more thingy with the DS was around. They had this little thing called, I can't remember its name fully, but what it was is you put your game cartridge in it and you could mod it and hack it. So when I did it, I gave myself infinite health and infinite level. So when I played it, I basically just one shot. It was still, I had to like have some sort of like backup, because if I died or got one shot, I'd still have to revive myself, but I had mostly infinite revives and everything. Yes, I cheated, I know, but I was only young at the time. I'll say that one. I was young at the time, and I really just wanted to enjoy the story. But I can say I did fully complete Gates to Infinity. That I did without hacking. But Blue and I think it was Sky and Darkness, I hacked to complete them. I just really wanted to enjoy the story. But one that annoyed me, the newest one, Super Mystery Dungeon. That game, absolute dirt, because I played through it and I got to the Entei boss, and that's like, it's the third to last boss of the game. I had no revives. I wasn't allowed to leave the dungeon, no matter what I did. It wouldn't let me go. I couldn't complete it because I didn't get insta-killed by any of the Pokemon in the level. I had no healing items whatsoever. I was unable. The only thing I was able to do was every time that I died, it gave me the opportunity to use the rescue mons to go and rescue me, which would revive me. But never would it offer to send me back to town. Because it was like, you're halfway there, you can't leave now, and it would say something like that. So my only option, which I never did, was to restart the game again, which I never did. I was so sad because I was so hyped for that game, because obviously it had every starter in there. At the time, they had Megas in there. They had Yveltal as one of the main bosses. They had Xerneas in there. I wanted to play it so bad. I tried so many times to try and fix it. I didn't want to start again, so I just said sod it, and I never touched it again. I literally stuffed it in a box and never touched it. And to this day, I've never touched it. It's still stuck in that one dungeon where you fight Entei at the end. And I'm never able to complete it because I have no healing items, no way to get stronger, and I'm stuck. And I'm so sad because I was so excited to play that game. So when the new version of the Dungeons game came out, I didn't even bother buying it. I just went, no. The game sucked and I'm not touching it because it was terrible. If you enjoy it and can play them, then good to you. The only thing I can support with is I love the story, and I did watch somebody else play it, and I absolutely adored the story. The story was great. It's as good as the previous ones. The twist in it is brilliant. I love the stories, and this game reminded me so much of the Mystery Dungeons with like the really, like, oh my god twists. I was so happy that these games are sort of going to a more sort of darker story. Oh, my lights came on. Made me jump. Yeah, this is the guy we're hunting later, hopefully. Thank you for demonstrating. Now I can see your name. Yeah, so it is Casper Kid. So Cat's Kid. But I'm calling him Casper Kid. Like Casper and then Kid. Oh well. If that's wrong, sue me. Like I was calling Hydreigon's middle form Zwillis. I've never heard anyone pronounce that name. No one ever had it in the anime that I remember pronouncing it, so I never heard the correct pronunciation for its name. So if I'm calling it Zwillis and that's not its name, Zwillis, I have no idea how else I'm going to say it because I've never heard anybody else re-say it. Because usually, I watch the anime or the card game ads, and usually people will see the name, and depending on how they say it, I will re-say it. Like the debate of Arceus. It's Arc, as in a arc, not ass, as in an ass, like a donkey, or your bum. I'm saying, obviously, it's an arc. But people just say it on purpose now just to annoy people. But the anime said it as Arceus. But then again, they said Arceus as well. So it's some people said Arc, some people said Arce. So it's just like, great. The debate continues. Personally, I go for Arc because I don't really like calling it an arse because it's not even a donkey. If anything, it's a llama. Plus, I really like Arceus. He's one of my favourite mons. Well, I have to say that now. He's actually on my blooming leg. Him, Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina are all on my leg now. So I have to say I like them. I'm sad though, it needs repairs already. The eyes in Arceus didn't take, so at the moment he's just got white eyes. Because for some reason the red didn't stick, so they need to be repaired. It happens every so often. Because there's that much goo going on when tattoos are being done that they don't, the colour sometimes doesn't tack, especially with it being like so detailed and so, that it was just such a tiny amount that it just didn't, it just sort of didn't, it healed, but it got rid of it. But it's a tiny little repair. That was like, I think it was like my 8th one now. Yeah, I think it was like the 8th one. And there's like been 3 that I've had problems with. One was my fault 100% because it's on my, near my shoulder. And I leaned over in the night on it and it got stuck to my blanket and pulled everything off. That was accident, and that happens because with the amount of cream you have on it, it's sticky. So yeah, it pulled all the scabs off. It was terrible. Most of the line work came off, but she said as long as I haven't selfly like been scratching it and then pulled lines off, she said I'm allowed at least 1 free repair on each one. And because I'm such like a loyal customer now, I dread to think how much money I've sort of spent at her shop, because my leg was literally about, I think it was like 500 quid or something ridiculous. But it is like all my thighs, them Pokemon flying about. So it's online. I've got pictures of it on my Facebook and that. If anyone wanted to see it. I need to put them on DeviantArt, funny enough. Because technically they're art, because they're a drawing. So, yeah. Really unlucky with this hunt, man. But I really want it, so I don't want to give up. Because I'm getting bored. But it does, you just gotta stay committed. Eventually it will happen, it's just tedious as hell. If you want to respite, just go and do something, I guess. But as long as you come back to it before the end of the day, you should be fine. And that's just why I changed my way of leaving. Just to give me a bit of a break from just pressing the picnic button constant. It just slightly upset me though, listening to Mystery Dungeon music, and it's like, oh, you couldn't play the last one because you're stupid. Which I do feel like that, and probably if I tried again, I'd probably be able to do it now. But I just felt so bloody stupid at the time, because I was unable to do it. And like I said, I don't really want to commit to playing DS games that much anymore, because I don't know, I'm sort of, once I move on to the next gen, I barely ever play the previous one unless there's particular one thing I want to do. But even then, I wait for a remake, because I heard about there being a Skylanders triple pack thing, and I don't know whether you'll be able to use, you have to use all your toys again, because I think that's stupid if it's like, I heard about a triple pack thing coming out where it's like all 3 games, 3 of the games on one disc or something, which I'd be hell of excited for. I just hope they give you like a new portal that will work for all 3 games, because I have no idea where any of my portals are. But I have got all my Skylanders still. They're in a massive box. And when I say the box is massive, the box is massive. It'll just be disappointing for people who got rid of their collections even though they love the game. Which I don't see why you'd spend so much time collecting them just to dump them. I know the game hasn't done anything in years, and I've been so disappointed the fact that the game just died as it did. I don't even know how it died in a way, because I enjoyed it. And I was always so happy to get the next one. But they just stopped and then never heard anything again. That was it. Done. They were getting a bit dumb with the actual plot because they forgot what made them special in the first place. The fact is they were sent to our world to be toys. And why would there be several versions of the same guy if they were sent to our world to be toys? I mean, what? The paradox, the OC version of Spyro with bigger horns, or the alternate universe, yeah, that's what I'm meaning. The OU version of Spyro with bigger horns, but they call it level 2, or series 2. It was bad enough when they brought like, oh, Black Spyro, oh, glow-in-the-dark Cinder, or stuff like that. That was bad enough. And yes, I got a few. If I was able to get it, I got it. The only ones that I barely got any of was the final game. I barely got any of the Skylanders because they just didn't sell them anywhere. And then when they did, it was like, I could buy them in bulk because it was like, there was like 36 of them, which already, Jesus bloody Christ. And each one was all different prices. Like for the main batch that they were advertising majorly were the senseis. And if I recall, there was 2 senseis to each set, so that was like, thinking of it like Pokemon, I'm sure there was like 12 classes or something dumb like that. And each one had, not only did it have the 5 original like characters, but they'd have the 2 new characters, the season 2 or 3, whatever it was now, glow in the dark, or light core as they called them, where they'd light up, and then they'd have the dear ones. So all 3 of them would be all 3 different prices. So it was like trying to get them all. I literally did the math, and it was like over £4,000 to get every single Skylander for the new set, including the big boxes with the extras in. I was like, what normal person could afford this? It's... For some reason the cameras fell. It's not like... No, it's ridiculous. I would have buy a computer and a car for the amount of they were asking for like 40 little toys that I have no room for. At the time, what I wish I would have done before buying every single one, I wish I'd have just bought like one of them all. So if they brought like season 2 of Spyro, because I remember having about 7, if not 8 Spyros, because they had Spyro season 1, 2, 3. They had Dark Spyro. They had Dark Spyro season 2. Dark Spyro season 3. Legendary Spyro. Legendary Spyro season 2. Glow in the Dark Spyro. They had so many of the same bloody toy, and it did the exact same thing. And that's just me off the tip of my head. The one thing I wish I did was get one of all of them. So regardless of it being season 2, unless it was my favourite, like... My favourite one was the Drawbot, which was on the tech line, which is a dragon robot, and he was like... He had a cool little catchphrase, and thankfully he didn't have many models. He had a season 1, which I had, and I've still got above me now, even when all the rest are packed away in a crate. He's above my bed because he was one of my favourites. And I remember getting it as well, because I didn't even have the game at the time, and I went... It was round about when I moved into this house, pretty early on I moved into this house. And I remember going getting him, and I didn't have the game, and I only had to wait till like my birthday or Christmas or something, and I remember just everything going haywire because of nerves. I know I was never told to get excited for a game again. I always had to sort of breathe. Because I used to get so hyped up for a game that I used to just disregard anything, and obviously with schoolwork, that's not good. So I had to have so much freaking about. But I've sort of worked that problem out now, but now I have so much trouble getting hyped for a game at all now that I've sort of messed my head up completely. Not speaking about any personal issues like that. Drobot only had... He had his light core, his season 2 and season 1, and he had the... And that was it, I believe. He did have Drobit, which was like a mini version of him. He was like a sidekick that hung... He was just a baby version, and he'd have all the same damage and all the same moves and everything, but he was little and he had a higher pitched voice. Which was the only reason why I had him, but him I bought multiple of because he was my favourite anyway. The thing that annoyed me the most about Drobit, which I'm still upset to this day, was Drobot, sorry. I was never able to get Season 2 Drobot. I ordered it online, and they sent me the light core. It never, I repeat, never appeared in the shops in the UK. I looked everywhere for it, because like I said, if there was one Skylight and I wanted all of them for, it was Drobot. I wanted Drobot Season 2 so bad, and I looked everywhere for it. Now, I still can't find it, and I've been looking for years now. I still can't find it. And now I don't even think it's available to, like, buy anymore. Because people who got it want it, and people who sold it have already sold it on. Because clearly there were kids who wanted it at the time, and the parents were like, oh no, we can't buy it, it's 2D, and now that all the characters are probably going for a penny in the bargain bin, they're like, oh yeah, you can have it now, so they've bought them all. I wanted to check, but for some reason he decided to climb down the fribbing ledge. I wanted to check. Right, I can check on the stream, but he kept sliding down even though I was pointing up, he just kept going down the ledge still. You think the Pokemon that's been, like, scientifically modified to be all-terrain, he can fly, he can climb, he can run, he can swim. You think he'd be able to climb a ledge? But no. Then again, this one's like the prehistoric version, so this one should be able to... He's not modified for human transportation, because obviously when he's Cyclizer... Because that's another one where there's multiple ways of saying it. There's either Cyclizer... Is he even on this game anymore? Because I know majorly... Yeah, I got all them the other day, which was quite fun. They're all in the same ball. Yeah, there he is. That's what I wanted. Yeah, I had a shiny one because I got a double outbreak. So, for a Pokemon that I don't really care about getting high levels... Yeah, because look at this one compared to, like, Maridon. This is Koraidon, but oh well. He's like... That other one is like sleeker design. He's smaller, so he takes less space. He's not as bothered about like the big crest. Usually when birds or lizards and stuff like that have a big crest, it's usually to attract mates. So they're purely for just like convenience design of people. They're sleeker and that. So he's disregarded all that, and especially with Maridon. Don't even get me started with the differences between them two. Because that one's purely just left everything from it behind. So if this is like a prehistoric version of that same mon, it's just like disregarded everything that it held. It's actually aggravating me listening to this music because it's super. It's so annoying me. It aggravates every time I see Super Mystery Dungeon. It annoys me because I was never able to complete it. I enjoyed watching a guy complete it, but it's not the same. I was excited to do all the missions afterwards and fight the legendaries. Never happened, never could. So annoying. But I really don't want to try again because that's relying on a DS and finding the game again, which I have no idea where it is. Here's a better game. If you can hear it. I pressed the wrong button, I meant hit it. So if you can't hear it, it's Diamond Pearl. Well, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, but regardless, Sinnoh games. Jokingly enough, and I know this is bad to say compared to some, but it was my first Pokemon game officially. Like, I remember playing it. But I used to only watch the series, because at the time, when I was young, I couldn't read for the life of me, and I had no sort of motivation to read. So if anyone listen to this story and then tell me that games are bad for people and they don't help you at all learn anything and they're violent and stupid, I had no motivation to read. I didn't want to learn because I just couldn't be bothered and I didn't see the point in it when I was younger. Obviously that's so bad now if you hear about that. But with the desire of wanting to play these games, oh my god, look, there's a shiny Mankey there. What? What? You see him? That better not be the light. It's not! Yes! That's hysterical. Right, there's only one ball he can go in. He's one I've been wanting for a while as well. That's ridiculous! See what I mean? You wander around enough and check the back Pokemon. It was there. Shiny Mankey. That's glorious. Make sure you save afterwards. So I can still continue hunting Mosquito, but I got a Mankey. That is glorious. Well, that made up for the amount of time I've spent hunting for this Skideo. I got the Mankey as well. Right, after that, I completely lost what I was talking about now. Oh, I remember now. So I had no motivation to read when I was younger. I didn't see the point of it, a logic of why reading was important. Because it takes me a lot to get motivated to do anything. Even when I was younger, like, I couldn't get into clubs because I couldn't stay motivated to do it. I have trouble even staying motivated to do now. Like, I spent like 3 weeks learning Spanish on an app because I'm just bored and have nothing else to do. And I haven't gone back to it since, like, this game came out, and I haven't been back to it since. I do want to get back to it though, and I keep saying I'll get back to it and I never do. But I have such a hard time getting motivated to continue or to do anything. And if someone like bats it and says, oh, I don't know why you bothered, it's bad, and then someone rats on it, you'll physically put me off. Like, if you want to put me off buying a game because, like, you don't want me spoiling it, or you don't want me to play it just because it's out of spite, all you have to do is rip on it enough in the comments, and that would probably be it, and then I wouldn't play the game, obviously. Like, if enough people said for me to stop trying YouTube and give up and stop drawing, I'd probably do it, because I have such a low, like, motivation to do anything. It's so bad. So playing these games and actually seeing these games and wanting to be able to enjoy them to their fullest. Because I remember this and Legend of Zelda I wanted to play so much, but because I couldn't read, I couldn't play them. So I actually got more trying and focused to read due to the fact that the motivation is I wanted to enjoy these games. So I can read just good enough to play them. Like, I can read quite well now, and actually because of how well I got at reading, I actually can enjoy books now. Because I used to be like, when I was younger, I was like, no, books are boring. But now I can pick up a book and I'll spend like 3 days straight reading it. As in, when I say straight, I mean straight, all day, all night. A fucking hat's going now after the Mankey. I was so happy. What are we gonna call him though? Or her? It's a guy. He's gonna be the ghosty punchy boy, so I'll put in the party just so I can level him up, because that level 100's not gonna get any better. But I'd rather have him in the party. I'm gonna swap him and him because I want Gladys to go back to Violet. Not like I can take pictures of it because you're only allowed 6 in a party and there's 8 paradoxes. I thought that was stupid, to be honest. They should have rethought that through. Or at least done 12, so then I could take pictures of all of them. Yeah, but no. Still no shiny Skidoo. That made me laugh though. He's bashful. I don't know what I'm gonna name it. I might think of a name after. Like, of a Phantom Boxer or something. Might even call him Phantom Pain. That might be a cool name. have to look it up at some point. I keep forgetting what I'm doing. I press a button and I instantly forget. I was getting comfy again, so sort of messed myself up. Oh god, I feel a sneeze. I hate it. You can feel the sneeze in your nose and it's just really tickly. It's horrible. So like, as demonstrated by this now, I've been streaming for an hour and 36, still haven't got it, but I have got a manky, so it's not as like I've been doing nothing this entire time, but this is honestly how you do it. And like I said, you keep wandering in and out, and any Pokemon in the surrounding area as well could be shiny, so that bird could be shiny. Like the Mankey could. And I didn't save the footage of the Mankey, I just realised. Whoops. Usually I take a screenshot and a screen record of it, but I just forget so often. Because every time I got like the violet paradoxes, I got so excited that most of the time I'd forget to press record. Because I'd have to encounter it, then press it, and most of the time I got so excited that I forgot. Be lucky if I screenshot it. But after a while I did try to remember it, but nah, I still forgot. Like I've got Iron Treads, because that one was quite a special one because it was the last one. I got the recording and the screenshot for that. But I Am Valiant, I don't think I got the recording for. Most of them I don't think I got the recording for. There's a handful, but I'll have to literally go through because I have not... Oh no. Yeah, if you jump on a Pokemon and you land on them, you won't like fall through them, you'll just bounce off them. It's quite funny. So if you get stuck on a ledge, you can actually get stuck, so I'd be careful with that. So going quickly back to what I was saying, so yeah, if anyone ever says that games are like not worth the time and are violent and are bad for kids, then I say that's a very big fat lie. Some of them, yeah, I'd like obviously the logic of don't give a kid an 18 game when they're like 6. Obviously. There's a reason there's an age limit on, but for something like Pokemon, Legend of Zelda sort of thing, them games are full of like, not only do they help like problem solving because they allow you to think on your feet like a fast problem, but the sort of games like this require math, require the ability to read, requires reflexes and quick problem solving. And not only that, but this one even requires like actual, well, it's basically just math. But yeah, but figuring out like how IV training works and doubling and subtracting how damage points works, you need to know maths in order to play this game. You need to know, obviously, to read. And it can even be educational even, because you could even play the game in the language that's not your own. Because I played through this game a little bit in Spanish, so I could get a ditto. But I still played it for a while in Spanish, and I knew what most of it said. Not only because I had played it in English and knew where the buttons were, and I knew that C means yes, obviously. But there is an educational track to it, and you can make it... God, so it annoys me when I hear, like, parents of especially stupid people not understand fully, and they say, "Oh, game says it's violent. Oh, you should watch TV and be more realistic and stop playing fantasy games." The point is of game is to escape from the harsh reality we live in. Like, not all of us are on good terms with life. Some of us are actually have bad times and are ill. Like me, I'm constantly in pain every day due to my back pain, which I have no control over. So the only escape I get to actually feel free and be happy and enjoy the world is to play it through a screen like this. Which isn't an issue, I'm not bothered. It hurts sometimes thinking about I could be actually riding around, like, for example, doing something like what I'm looking at now, riding on a horse, for example, through the wilderness. But it's not blooming practical. It's not like it would happen. It's not even like it's possible in some sorts. And even then, even if I could, it's the point of getting out, going out and getting there to find somewhere like that. It's not likely that I'm going to be able to do that every day. Here it's convenient. Not only that, but it's safe. That's the annoying thing of why I get annoyed with like people who, because I even got told off someone and they said, oh, you should watch something more realistic and watch TV or do something more realistic and not all these cartoons. I watch an anime. They beat the hell out of someone because they've done something absolutely horrendous and terrible. And they get justice for it. I watch a drama or a TV show, and admittedly they're fake as hell, but there'll be a guy who murders his friend over money. We'll get no justification from that. The murderer will just kill the guy and that's it. He'll go to jail. Doesn't feel really like justified, does it? Nor does it feel like the guy who's died has been thoroughly sort of redeemed. And even then, and that's if the guy gets caught. Half of the time, if the killer doesn't get caught, that's it. They get away with murder, and then the people of the families of that person are left always to wonder why it happened and what they could have done to stop it. Yeah, I really want to watch that stuff, and if it's not that, it's a certain word I'm not allowed to say on YouTube. Or two, actually, that I'm not allowed to say on YouTube. One begins with an R and one begins with an S. And neither of them will happen, and sometimes the person will get away with it. Well, actually, the second one is assisted S, but whatever. But that'll happen, and it's just like, oh right, shit happens, nothing you can do about it. And it's like, why would I want to watch this? I'm much happier watching an anime where the villain gets sort of what's coming to him, and they get usually they're justified. And then not only do they, what I like about this particular animes, but then they justify why the villain did this in the first place. They don't just say the villain did it just because they felt like it, which rarely is the point in animes, but most of the time in these dramas and TV shows, they did something evil just because they were bored or felt like they had the right to. And it's like, oh yeah, so you're showing me the world is not only unfair and I'm at the mercy of other people's whims, but I have no control over people outside my life. Not only do I have no control over my own. Yeah, thank you for making me realise that for rewatching a drama. Really wanted that realisation when I was a child or anything. So yeah, really want to watch stuff like that. It's not depressing. So like I said, I'd much rather watch an anime where it's justified why they're beating the hell out of this person. One anime I have to say that goes good with that I can think of off the top of my head, and it's only because I've been watching it repetitive for a while, was One Piece. The series would start, the heroes would be on the way, and pretty much it's a pattern now with One Piece. All of them start off the same. The arc starts with you meeting like the victims of the crisis, and it's usually the main character of the story, something along the lines. They'll hear the sub story from the victims, and then the heroes will go and fight. They'll fight forever, actually gathering numbers to help fight that force. And eventually, when they do beat down the force, they'll usually get captured. Villain monologues why they're doing something, and then when they're getting beat and they've literally on like the last legs of standing there, you'll get more in-depth story that the villain was refusing to show the heroes, which shows like they're doing this because they had no control in their youth and they want to take revenge because someone was mean to them. It's like the bullies a bully because they were bullied. It's sort of situations like that constantly. That is justified. And even then, even if you can like make a villain that you're sort of sympathetic to, that you start to actually feel sorry for them at the end of it, which most of One Piece villains you do. The majority I can think of off the top of my head. I assume the newest one that I haven't watched too much of. I'm not saying who, just in case for spoilers, but I've watched pretty much to present. I'm waiting for new episodes, but I'm only watching the dub version, so that also gives an indication where I'm up to. I'm up to date, and I'm only watching dubbed. So, shut up. I don't know about him having a sad backstory, because I think he's gonna break the pattern, because I don't see this guy having a sad backstory, because he just looks like he wants to dominate everyone. And that's pretty much it. I don't see him really being weak or having a justification for why he's doing this evil, because he's just in charge. He's just the beast as he is, and he just dominates everyone, and if he wants something, he takes it with as much force as required. So it's not really his fault. And it's not really like some of the older villains I can think of, like where they actually had a reason to, or they just were brung up wrong and didn't understand. I'm not saying names, but you can probably think of the one I'm talking about at the moment, which is most fresh in my head, because I really enjoyed this arc, actually. It's quite later on, but I like the story. Main villain, blah blah blah, was decided to be different because they wanted a change of pace, because they didn't want to be like the rest of them. So they decided to have a change. Not only did the people that they were with originally, who were friends with them, abandon them, but because of the history that they had with the normal public, they were hated. And not only that, but they were really tortured for it. But sadly, due to upbringing, one of them didn't understand, and he just became exactly what the people made him out to be, which prove the people's point. And the disregard for the human life in that series, though, when it comes to like the people in charge, woof. Because usually I used to forgive people in the past. It used to be very hard to make me angry with you, personally. Like, I'd forgive anyone, you could shout at me and anything, and I'd let you off and you'd get 3 sort of strikes. But even then, I'd give you second chances after second chances, and it'd be very hard for me to like refuse to speak to you again. But sort of with watching that and seeing how people just don't deserve chances because they're just bad people in general, it wasn't like this show proves to me that all people are bad or anything, or even that rich people are bad in general. It's just an example of just some of the people in that show, for example, just do not deserve any sympathy, pity, or whatever. They've put people through hell, and they're just not justified. To be even given second chances. Sorry, my eyes and my nose are really running for some just random reason, so I'm just like bibbing and I don't even know why. My eyes are just watering. swear something's in the air. That's me. I'm allergic to because my eyes just keep watering at the moment. I know I'm slightly allergic to dust, but there's no dust in here. I checked. Well, there's none in the breathing vicinity. That would. I haven't disturbed anything, so there'd be dust in the air. I've just got a blocked nose all of a sudden. Grand, as if I didn't sound croaky before. Anyway, it's sort of just the example of, but I'm not trying not to go into personal things, but yeah, it's very hard to make me hate you. If I don't know you and you, like, someone like comments on a video saying like I suck or something, I'll usually just block them because I just can't be bothered with it. If you've got nothing nice to say, then personally I just can't be bothered with you. If you're messing, then right, but that's a poor joke. And to be honest, I don't really want that sort of, I don't really like the sort of humour. So I'd rather just go bye-bye. I want to see nice comments, not whatever garbage you're pulling. So I just really like that show. I think some of the points of like how they show like different aspects of humanity is really interesting. Not only that, but pirates. I like pirates. And I know they showed pirates in too good of a light on that show, because pirates were like, real life pirates were horrible. They'd take advantage of the poor people, and most of the hatred towards the pirates in the show is what normal pirates would be like. It's just the pirates we follow are abnormally nice for reasons that I won't disclose. But they've all had their own stories, and each one just like, if you didn't really like, I thought, for example, one of the crew members, I'm trying not to spoil anything for people who's not watched it, and for example, I want to rewatch the whole series again with particular people, and they've not seen a wink of it. They may know characters just by like off glances, but they don't know personally the characters. Like, they didn't even know who Ace was. What? But a member of the crew, I wouldn't like them because they look stupid. Because a lot of the times before I started watching One Piece, I refused to watch it because I was like, the art style's weird and the characters look stupid. And it didn't help the person who was showing me the show was showing me like YouTube poop versions. So it was like, they were stupid and loud, and they were saying like weird, stupid stuff. So it was like it wasn't motivating me to watch it, because usually if it's too stupid I don't watch it. Cause I don't really like that humor where the guy picks up poop and eat it. I think it's vile and disgusting, would make me sick. And not only that, but I'd have it in my nightmares for years. It's sort of an example like that. I don't like that sort of humor. Even watching someone having to go through like a supposedly funny joke, I don't find stuff like that funny. God, we're really unlucky with this Skiddo. Literally, I don't think I can do anything else, because it literally was this. Let me save and I'll kill a few extra, because I've saved, if I accidentally kill all of them, I think I can just reset and it'll come back. But I can kill a few more. Why is it so loud? Because it's taken a normally long time, but then again, I still haven't got a roly collar, and I was trying to get one of them a bit ago, and I never got one of them. I've been somewhat lucky with the hunts that I've done, that I've got most of the hunts I've tried, but some I just haven't been lucky, and roly collar was definitely one I've had incredibly bad luck at getting. I've never been able to get one. I tried for 2 months on Sword and Shield resetting. I killed 99 of them, never got it. I had the shiny charm on that as well, never got it. It wound me up. Thanks. You can die in battle now. I do love the times this Pokemon though. When he was first announced at the World Championship, and I watched that the whole thing. Well, I was doing my Shield and Sword raids. I think I was hunting for Tapu Koko at the time. Because I spent like 4 months hunting for Tapu Koko. And I ended up getting him. There's also another Right, it says the Pokemon from this outbreak has disappeared. So now, as demonstrated, I'm going to demonstrate just for example. Unless the shiny's here. I didn't spot it. Right, look. If I despawn all these now. Earlier, when I despawned them, they'd all come back. But because I broke the outbreak, look. They're not spawning back. So if you turn the game on and off. I just think they could have done a lot more with this menu. I do like it, it's nice, but I still think it's boring. I also wish they'd have kept the book on the deck, because that was quite cool, having the book and the Pokeball on the table, but they could have just left... Oh, a nice idea would have been a flower to symbolise the death of... I should shut up. Just in case. I know it's been long enough that people who watch this should know the ending, but I'd rather not spoil it. I'd rather just keep my mouth shut and so. But yeah. I do hate this time of the day though, because it's like they all look the same, but it's all because they are the same. I'm gonna try and do it a bit quick. I said box instead of picnic. I'm gonna try and be a bit quicker now because I am taking forever. Usually, I am a pain that I'll do it leisurely and I'm not really dedicating my time to being quick. I'm just like... Cause I know it'll eventually pop up, but obviously I don't want to be here all the night. Nor do I want to stream all day, so... And I'd like to get it on stream, so... It'd be really disappointing if I didn't get it. But all I'm gonna do is run up the grass 3 times. Not running into any of them. Double check them when I got most of their attention and they run towards me. And then picnic. I'm curious to see what people's favourite Pokemon games, and I have asked this question in the past on other vids, but I'm curious to see what people's favourite Pokemon games are. For nostalgia's sake, I'm gonna say Diamond. Well, I'd say Platinum more. It was weird. I thought I heard someone knocking on my window. But I'm like on the 2nd floor, so bit of difficulties. I know I've got a balcony, but still, well, not a balcony per se. It's the thing above your door, the front door, so it's shelter sort of thing. That thing. I've got one of them under my window. What's with all the noises? I swear this house is haunted, man. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if this house was haunted, because I've seen shadows in this house. And if you're telling me, like, ghosts ain't real and shit, then honestly, I don't know. Because I don't know whether it's my own sanity that's dips and that's why. But I swear one time I got so freaked out, and I remember this forever because it freaked me out so much. I was just sat in the bath, having, well, obviously a bath, and how my bathroom is when you sat in the bath, when the doors open, you can see right down into the corridor, and then it turns to go downstairs. And while I was in the bath, I sort of had this like nervous sort of twitch that, you know, when the hair on the back of your neck stands up, like the sensing of someone's like watching. So I kept sort of looking down the corridor because I'm sort of nervous by nature anyway. So I kept feeling like someone was watching me. And then when I turned, so I looked about several times. No one was there. But I turned around quick. And I don't know if it was just me, like my brain was overstimulated or what. But I swear God, when I looked for like the 9th time, there was a black figure stood on the corner of the around the corner with his hand and his head poked down, looking directly at me. And the thing is, no one in the house looked like this guy, and I remember it clear as day. This oldish fella looking round the corner. It scared the living hell out of me. But as quickly as I blinked, he was gone. So I screamed hell. Nobody came, funny enough, even though I was bloody screaming my face off. So I bloody screamed for someone to come. And after about 10 minutes, someone eventually arrived and checked that there was nobody there. Because obviously they came from that same direction. So if there was a random stranger in the house, they would have commented on it as soon as they passed them, because obviously the corridor's very small, so in order for someone to actually get to where they were stood, they would have had to pass them. And not only that, which logic would have tipped me off that this was like, I don't know if it was an hallucination or me being sleep deprived or what, but the place where they stood is physically impossible for someone to stand there, because there's a fridge. A mini fridge on a table, and there is no way that someone could have stood there, because the gap from the fridge to the ceiling, because it's the stairs there as well, is so small. And how big they was about as big as the fridge, so there is no way someone could have been stood there. But I swear down to this day, and I'll completely say this repeatedly, and I've never changed my mind once, I definitely saw someone stood there. And ever since then, I never have the door open when I'm having a shower, and I always have the curtains around it, and I never have the door open after that. So if anyone ever did stood there again, I wouldn't see it and I wouldn't know. Like they say, I'm thinking of this: stupidity is bliss, or obliviousness is bliss, or something along the lines. It's something like that. Ignorance is bliss, that's it. Ignorance is bliss, so that's what I was kind of doing. So if my house is haunted and there's a creepy old guy in my house, then at least, as long as he doesn't stand in the corridor with me at night, that's it, I don't care. Because funny enough, my dog got badly damaged. So I don't actually have a door to my room. So my room is just open to the corridor, and funny enough, my room ends exactly where that guy stood in the corridor, so exactly outside my door is the fridge. So my only safe thing is a towel I put pinned up to the wall, or a flag. I've got a towel and a flag as a door. It's just to give me a bit of privacy, as well as, obviously, I can't see into the corridor. The only thing I can see is feet. Because the towel's not long enough, because the door frame's like 9 foot. 9 foot. I think it's roughly 9. I'll say 9 partner stood in the door and he's around 6. So... And it was still quite a bit off him. So I'd say it roughly is 9 foot. Or it may even be only 8. I think it's more 8. Because he's 6 and I'm only 5'10". Or 5'12". I'm not tall, but I know he's about 6 foot something, and I'm only... And he's like a head taller than me, so... But I'm taller than my mum, so I don't know. I'm more 5'10", I think. Anyway. Oh god, shadows. What? Right, shush a sec. Well, I was in a good mood till that, but oh well. I don't know if I should call it a day now because I haven't got it, and I can always continue. I can always start the hunt later on in the day. It's not like I have to do it now. I can do it when I get back. Yeah, I'm gonna call it here, and I'll continue later. Can I even pause the stream? I don't think that's a good idea. No, I can't. Anyway, I'm gonna pause it. I'm literally gonna save, and I'm not gonna move from this spot, and I'm just gonna go and do my things my mum wants me to do. Because I didn't think I was gonna be 3 hours, which it's 2 now, so I'll come back in a bit and continue later. Sorry, bloody cola, damn it.